Hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life of Chelsea for the Bold and Beautiful October 27th, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below, what y'all think. Nothing happened really, but I'm gonna give a quick summary and really. But Liam proposed to Hope. She said yes. I said she said yes faster to Liam than she did with Carter and Thomas. Deacon and Taylor getting closer and closer. Sheila said that if Deacon and Taylor ever did anything inappropriate, she'd murder Taylor. I said, what about Deacon? I said, crazy Sheila's back, y'all. She back. I said, Taylor, you in danger, sweetheart. I want to know if they gonna actually kiss, because they showed a promo where they was getting closer. Deacon had his hands on her face or whatever. I said, are they gonna actually kiss? And will Sheila see it? Because right now they haven't kissed her in. They haven't did the whole scene where he had his hands on her face and stuff. But they did hug or whatever. I said, nah, you ain't had no reason. She wasn't crying or upset or nothing. He done went over there. I said, you brought that up for a reason. You want her, don't you? I said, you want her, don't you? But yeah, she was saying how if they did anything inappropriate, she'd murder Taylor. Lee and her just be bonding now, like they best of buddies, all because of Luna or whatever. She over here telling her how Luna basically the reason why her and Deacon separated. No, you the reason why you and him separated. You the reason. You could have avoided that. You could have left it alone. But no, I know it's Lee's fault too. Everybody played a part. Hold on, y'all. Everybody definitely played a part in this whole little situation. Now Sheila, I don't think they show anybody. I don't think they show Sheila or Lee going to see Luna yet. But yeah, and the last thing is just that Donna and Brooke were just talking about Hope and Liam reuniting. But okay, on today's episode, Liam was talking to Katie first, talking about something he can't wait any longer or whatever. So I'm assuming she knew about the proposal. Well, yeah, they was just talking about that, and she was like, "You already know how I feel about it." I said, oh, "Here they go, here they go." And the same with Brooke. First of all, Hope was saying how she's excited to have her line back. Brooke was just encouraging her, and she was saying, she knows that she still loves Liam and everything. Lee stops by to see Sheila. Sheila said that Luna's the reason why Deacon and her are separated. She was saying how, she's hoping that Taylor can help put things back into perspective and reunite her and Deacon and everything. I said, shoot, she gonna get them for herself. She gonna get them for herself. Deacon ends up asking Taylor how she's doing. And she tried to, what she say to him? I think she was saying she the therapist or whatever. He's there for her help, not the other way around. So they just got to talking about Brooke and Ridge and how, he always goes back to her. I said, didn't he just say that he basically supported them being together, or some comment he made about them always reuniting or something? But yeah, over here talking about some, aren't you tired of that? And I said, you just wanna, don't you? And just bringing up, how she should leave Ridge in the past, and she over here making excuses talking about some, it's not just, something short or whatever, something about decades. They've been at it for decades, and that should be more proof. That ain't helping your case. I said, that's not helping you. She talking about it's not just, something that just happened or whatever, it's years, even with Brooke. I said, she'd be too calm for me, and then she make every excuse when it comes to Ridge. She really do. She really do make every excuse for him. He keep going back to the same. I said, don't worry, give it time. Probably by the end of next year, something else gonna pop up and interfere with these two. I say either 1 year or 2 years, then something pop up. Either they bring Thomas back and he do something to interfere or something like that. Every time, every time. But yeah, they was talking about that. I think I skipped some things. Let me see. Sheila hoping that Taylor can help. Deacon asks Taylor how she's doing. Donna and Brooke talk about Hope and Liam reuniting. Sheila tells Lee that she saw Deacon and Taylor embracing. And she was just Lee was talking to Sheila. Saying, do you think that it's another woman or something like that? And she was like, no, or whatever, but I know one thing. She said, I know one thing. If anything ever happened between a good doctor and my husband or whatever, I murder her. At least just look at. I said, yeah, she's a psychopath. Just like y'all granddaughter. I said, yeah, you thought this was sweet. You over here being buddy with her because she over here, what's the girl name? Luna grandmama and stuff. I was like, yeah, she's a psychopath. That's your exit. When she talking about murder people, you get up and you leave. It's like she just sitting there. Hold on. I want to know if they're gonna actually go back to that scene on tomorrow's episode, because it'd be so short. Every time you get to the good stuff, they want to sit up here and show all the doggone commercials and stuff. But yeah, she's my side. I murdered her, and I said, "What about Deacon?" I was like, "Girl, you going back to jail? You was doing so good. You was doing so well, and now you talking about murdering people again." But yeah, she talking about she know one thing. If anything inappropriate ever happened between her husband and Taylor, she'd murder her. And I said, "I believe you, girl." I said, "We believe you." We believe you. But yeah, Taylor ends up expressing how she feels. She ends up telling Deacon how she got her hopes up again. She thought this time would be different. And I said, yep, true that. We know you thought this time would be different. We know. And she was just talking about decades of it going on and stuff like that. So she did seem like she was kind of getting emotional. So, but at the same time, it wasn't the emotional. You know how you try to comfort somebody when they getting all emotional stuff. He's a come here with it. You just want to hug again. You liked it that hug last time, didn't you? Yeah, you just want to hug her. So then they was hugging and they pulled back, but they didn't actually show the scene, like I said, where in the promo they showed him touching on her face and it looked like they was about to kiss. I'm hoping that if they do, that's when Sheila walk in, because so far she been steady popping up during their session, during Deacon session or whatever. I'm hoping she pop up. I'm like, yeah, this gonna be interesting. It definitely is. And what else? Let's see. Leon was saying that he hopes that Hope would still be there for him. He was just talking to, they was talking about the same thing, the fact that he thought he was dying. I said, but you ain't dead. I knew once you didn't die, you weren't dying. I knew once you didn't die. I said that. I kept saying, I said, he ain't died yet. He ain't going nowhere. I knew once he didn't die, he wasn't dying. But yeah, he's just talking about some, basically she made a promise that she'd always be there for him during that time when they thought that he was dying, and he hoping that she still will. And she was like, yeah, she'll always love him. So, he gets down on his knees. I said, here you go, about to propose. He tells Hope you'll never have to question my commitment ever again. I said, you full of crap. I said, get up. I said, get your tail up. That remind me of that time he cheated with Steffi. And he had got down on his knees begging her and stuff to take him back, to forgive him for cheating, and she gonna do it. But yeah, he on his knees proposing and stuff like that. Talking about, you never have to question my commitment. I said, well, technically this time you didn't do nothing wrong. She cheated that time. She was the one that cheated that time, though. I give him that. I would give him that. Look, once she cheated one time, his little feelings was hurt. He don't cheated how many times? But yeah. So then, he proposed to her. And she hurry up and said yes. She hurry up and said yes to my son. He want to put their family back together. I said, I hate when people use that as an excuse. Now, if you actually doing that and all this other stuff, then cool. Whatever floats your boat. But in this situation, you full of crap. You full of crap. Because if Steffi dropped Finn today, you going to be there today. You going to be there today. Because you pick and choose when you want these folks. You really do. You really do pick and choose when you want these folks. But I was like, who going to perform the wedding ceremony? I think that said something about this week. Daphne's supposed to react to Hope and Leon's proposal in front of Carter. So I don't know if that's when he going to find out about it or what. But so far, he been seeming like he don't really care. Because he already over here pursuing Daphne. But yeah, that's all that happened, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time.